Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at Salvo Module, one of the Hurricane's unstable overclocks. And a very fun overclock. It's also very odd being an unstable overclock because it really doesn't have much of a downside. So what Salvo Module does is, instead of being able to constantly fire once you're holding down the trigger, the Hurricane like you usually do, this actually charges up missiles. You can charge up to 9 of these, although you don't have to. You can charge any amount you would like. And then once you fire it, it fires out like a rocket shotgun, dealing really high damage to anything that you hit. There's also more damage for each rocket that you load up. The downside is that your missiles are no longer guided, which is not true. You still have guided missiles, just not with the rocket shotgun. So basically just use that at close range and then use the Hurricane normally just by tap firing one missile at a time towards enemies. You can still steer them. The way I have this built is like this. So in tier 1 I'm taking extra ammo. You can take whatever you'd like in tier 1 though. They're all really good. I just like having more bullets. Tier 2 I'm taking armor breaking. Every time I say I take armor breaking in the Hurricane, people point out that armor breaking in the Hurricane is broken and not functioning entirely, which is true, because it works on the impact of the rocket, not on the actual explosion of the rocket. So you don't get full armor breaking with this, and if you want to take more rocket speed, you can. That's also a good one, but this does still help to some extent. It's better than like how it is on the grenade launcher, where it works the same way, but the grenade launcher, you will have far less ammo than something with the Hurricane. Tier 3, I'm taking faster rate of fire. This one I really like, especially with this overclock, because the faster rate of fire lets you load up the missiles faster. Very useful. Tier 4, I'm going with more AoE damage. You can take weak spot damage here, but I would recommend AoE damage, just because when you are firing the rocket shotgun, you're probably not going to be hitting the weak spot too often. That depends. Sometimes you are. Sometimes if you get right up next to a Praetorian or something, you can hit it with all of them. But I usually like going with the more AoE damage. Your call, though. And then in Tier 5, I'm going with the stun. Stun is just the most consistent one here. It's extremely consistent to stun enemies once you fire the rocket shotgun. Even if it's like a half-loaded rocket shotgun, it has a very high chance of stunning a target, assuming it can be stunned. Now, with a primary weapon that doesn't really have much of a downside and works really well at close range and long range, you can kind of take whatever you want as a secondary. I'm going to be taking composite casings on the burst pistol, a very simple overclock, but probably one of my favorites for the burst pistol. We get a shorter delay with bursts, and we get more ammo for it. I have it built like this. This is more for accuracy and for dealing with certain targets, usually Mag Terra or just long-range targets that I want to pick off. Alternatively, you have plenty of options with the burst pistol. You could go with something like lead spray if you just want to deal tons of damage up close. You can already kind of do that with the rocket shotgun, but this is another way that you can do it. If you're looking for more ammo and just a solid all-around overclock, compact mags is a really great option. If you're going with something with the revolver, you could go with 6-shooter. This is another solid overclock that just benefits the revolver at dealing more DPS at close-ish range. It still has good long range, though. If you wanted more high damage at long range, you could go with elephant rounds, or you could throw fire on the Hurricane and take something like volatile bullets, or you could even go with something like homebrew powder. All of those are great options too. And then depending on if you wanted more damage, you could take mole with the coil gun. This lets you have tons of single target damage, as well as you can punch through walls even further with this particular overclock, so that can be super useful. If you wanted more crowd control, you could go with hellfire, or you could go with something like triple tech chamber 2. That one's also a good one. There's a third breeder. Okay, well, I'm going to use up all my burst pistol for that then, I guess. Just get rid of the oppressor too, otherwise Bosco's going to keep trying to fight it. Oh. I don't know if I got down by the slasher or my own grenade or what. There's a lot of stuff that could have killed me there. Let me toss this here then. Okay. So where's that other breeder then? Okay. Still hear the menace. Oh, there's also lethal enemies. I forgot about that. That would have also made a difference there, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. Still have breeder way up there. been a while since I had 3 breeders, just all at the same time. Oh, good baller just got angry. Alright, well. Oh, I see more stuff coming in that other way. Conveniently for us, he can't really hit us here. Not convenient for us though, there's still the breeder. Okay, that went all over the place, but at least it landed on the outside of the shield for the most part. Oh, and we hit a leech with it too. Convenient. Yeah, I usually like to use this as like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 rockets at a time. So just kind of tap and hold for a second and then let go. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Well, that's perfectly fine. That's not so good. Trying to die. Oh boy. Alright, Bosco, could you get rid of the jellyfish while I try not to get pelted by meteors? I would appreciate that a lot. Okay. We're good. We're fine. Everything's okay. There's still that breeder over there that needs to die. Those the ballers. Alright. It's a good thing one of those rockets hit his spit out of the way. Okay. There's a menace? Oh, there's just a mess of things in this place, isn't there? This is actually a lot bigger than I thought it would be, too. No. Alright, we'll just wait for Born Ready to reload our Hurricane. Use the burst pistol to kind of get us some distance. We can save it for big stuff like this. Of course, we can stun it and then try to go for the rocket shotgun at a distance. Again, the rocket shotgun is mostly for close range. Does a lot better there than at real long range. Hey, there's some Jaddits. Found another leech. Nope, found another leech. Thankfully, these crystals are keeping him a bit. Oh. Alright. Oh, that's dealt with. Oh, we got more parts, but they're below this thing. Alright, well, hang on. We'll just take the mini mule down to the next floor, I guess. Yep, there's your legs. Come on. There we are. Alright. There we go. I don't know if I'm probably not gonna go for fossils. Not as Gunner. If I was Scout, absolutely. If I was Ingy, probably. Driller, maybe. Gunner, it's just so slow to set up your zip lines and go around. We were also rich, but I don't remember where that was now. Ah, thank you, Bosco. We're rich! Hooray! We're rich!
Carry support here!
We're rich! Fortunately, we can't ping that until Mission Control's angry. If we didn't have Bosco here, we could, but if we didn't have Bosco here, I would already be dead. Well, maybe. I could have had Iron Will. So I might be nearly dead. I honestly probably would be dead without Bosco. There's been so many little things that have shown up on this mission. Alright, this is actually a good spot for this. Don't know about the uplink, though. The refueling might be an issue. I'm hoping it lands like right there or right there. But if it lands on that side, you know, good luck trying to snake this up as Gunner. Yeah, lethal enemies is kind of scary. Alright. You hear them, they're coming. We'll just use 2 to 3 rockets here for each one of these. And reload when we can, or let Born Ready do it for us. Take away all the initial threats immediately, and then switch to the burst pistol when we need range immediately. If not, we can still tap fire this. start taking out these guys. Okay.
Here, have a bullet in the fight.
Okay. Yeah, definitely get rid of the slashers. They're the scariest. Now always be mobile on Has 5 too. Mobility is pretty useful. Even as Gunner, who is probably the least mobile of the classes. Having even just a little bit of mobility so you can circle around helps a lot. Okay. And then if things do start becoming overwhelming, of course throw your shields down. Or if you need to res a teammate there. Make it easier on everyone. Up here kind of sucks too. Not just because there's a menace here, but... You okay, little loot bug? Sorry, I might have got you with a little bit of that rocket. And not just because of the menace, but also because this. Ordinarily, this would be better to dig out. Especially if you're playing Driller. You could even just C4 this if you wanted. Or if you were NG, you could build up more platforms and actually build it out a bit. And then have a full thing to circle around. Scout and Gunner, you probably want to dig it out so that it's easier to get to, but I just am not going to do that. Just for laziness sake, I guess. We can stand up here, though, which is kind of nice. Some bugs up there. It's an acid spitter. Where's Buzz go? Pick off all the long-range threats immediately. I can actually sit down there too. That's not a bad place to be sitting. Even if it is currently full of bugs. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. Just take care of those. Oh yeah. I'm gonna climb back up here then real quick. Looks like they're actually being kind of nice to us. Which is a little bit unusual. Because we're right on a cliff, which is usually not a good thing. They can lean right over the edge and grab us. Alright. If things start looking bad like this, might be a good time to deploy the shield. This isn't the war situation, but certainly not a great one for us. Especially since there's a... Alright, cool. Now that that's out of the way, we can more freely move around. Let's toss that over there. Yeah. Yeah, please leave me alone, Goo Bomber. I don't need my life any more difficult than it is at the current moment. It's actually not so bad, but still, being slowed down just sucks. Out of burst rounds, but that's okay. Still got plenty of rockets, and we can bounce around and lob them. And we still got our shield.
Getting more ammo.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're fine. Well, mostly fine. Alright, call it in, mission control. Let's go. Alright, that wasn't bad at all. Salvo Module certainly helps with crowds. It does really well against big single targets, and this build is super flexible. So it's probably one of my favorite overclocks for the Hurricane. Super fun as well. I keep forgetting that I have the chicken head on my gunner. 379 kills. That is quite a bit, although the 3 breeders certainly made that more difficult right at the start. And then we got a bunch of swarmers too, which is not good with lethal enemies. That always hurts. And I got no extra materials because I didn't go look for any.